Testing, testing. Thought I'd try this out. Never tried it before with this StreamYard. Let me see if I can make this thing work. My mic decided to work today, so I'm trying to see, just test this thing out. Let me see. Looks like I'm live. I don't know. Testing, testing. Anybody out there? Let me see if I can see myself. Let me see what's going on out here. Oh, I can see it. Okay, let me see. Looks like I'm live. I don't know. Testing, testing. Oh, hey. Okay, I got somebody. Let me see. Let me go back in the. Hey, Nails. I see Nails is here. Okay, looks like I'm live. Trying to see if anybody else comes in here. How you doing? Am I still good? All right, let me see. Oh, that's the back check. Let me see. Let me see. One person. Trying to see if anybody else gets on or is listening. Are you able to see my avatar? Let me know if you can see that. Let me see. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's all I'm showing is the avatar. So yeah, I figured I better talk about this. Once again, it's one of those situations where a lot of people missing the point. A lot of things are going over people's heads that, again, our people aren't paying attention to. So most of you guys know the situation that recently happened with this white girl that shot Botham Jean, a black young man, one of our brothers. And yeah, so I remember when this first happened, right? And I want to get some of you guys' take out there that's listening. Let me even see who's even listening. Because when this first happened, I knew this broad was lying. As soon as I heard the story that she went in the wrong apartment, I knew from jump that was a lie. Let me know if I'm too loud. So, and that's one of them situations where I might hear someone say, well, you coming to conclusions and, well, you don't know the whole story and, don't rush to judgment, right? But I've been saying this all along, and now we have all this other stuff coming out showing that this wasn't just an accident, but yet most of our people are out here still going with the rhetoric that it was some type of accident. They don't understand something that I've been saying for a long time about these police brutality situations. It's not just situations where people where cops are in situations where they go too far, or mistakes happen, or people just happen to be killed. I've been saying for years now, these are targeted killings. They're targeted. And this is one of those examples. If you're paying attention, you can see this was targeted. It has nothing to do with no mistake. It's systematic. There's a lot of ways that our people have been systematically being taken out. The police brutality situation is just one of them, but it's systematic. Um, it's systematic genocide. They've been trying to get rid of us and take us out for some time now. You can say, well, I don't believe that. You can say, well, maybe it's not that, or maybe, it's not that serious. But I'm trying to tell you, these things are going on. And if we don't change our direction and do stuff different than what we've been doing, two things are going to happen to our people, because we're not paying attention, and we're not doing anything to protect ourselves and protect our continuance in this country. We're only about 13% or something like that. If we don't change our direction where we're going, we're going to end up two ways. One way, we're going to be assimilated out of existence. The other way is we can separate from the system and do something where we can independently survive by our own means. So it's down to those two things. Now, people get scared when I talk about separation, but we all know by now that the system is not in our best interest. The system is something that is against us. I told you all this is systematic. Black people are at the bottom and continue to be a perpetual lower class, a perpetual indentured servant to the powers that be and to those in power because of the system. So we can either be okay with the system, or the system got to go. There's two ways that we can get rid of the system, because that's the only way this is going to work, is if we somehow get away from the system. You have to either have some way to destroy the system, bring it down, or you have to create your own system. It's one of the two. So back to the whole Amber Guyger thing. I want to show you how racist the media is. Now, she came out with a story saying, well, I went into the wrong apartment and that's why I shot him. Let me tell you why that's a lie. First of all, let's say it was her. She thought it was her apartment and it really wasn't, right? Well, why do you have a gun out? One. Two, even if you take your gun out and have a reason to, which is questionable, but even if you had a reason to take your gun out, why shoot? You should see from the get-go that that was already a calculated, premeditated act. Everything points to that. But the media has put out there that the story happened according to what she said. Now, no other crime is supposed to go that way, and especially when if it was some type of a black perpetrator. If a black person would have went into a white person's apartment talking about I made a mistake, this would have been spun like this Negro is just saying whatever, or he claims, or his story was. You'd already have the story spun, or the narrative being, this guy's just trying to lie to get out of what he did. But the whole world, the whole media spins this Amber story as if that's actually what happened. Nobody is coming out the door assuming that this broad was lying. They all say, and even if they think she's wrong about shooting, they all believe her talking about this was a mistake, or she thought she was going in the wrong apartment. Nobody is claiming, oh, well, she could have lied. And this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. And most of our people that are that have these mindsets that we should forgive, or like what's going through the media now is, hey, what's up, CD? What's going on now is you have these images from the courtroom where you have the judge hugging her. You have the one of the black bailiffs or guards was doing her hair. You got the brother of Botham actually hugging her and whispering something in her ear. You got all these images out here, right? And this is the epitome of why our people are in trouble. And if we don't change up the way we move and start thinking about protecting our own and stop trusting everything, we're going to end up messed up. And this is a prime example of that type of mindset that too many of our people have. This situation right here. Now, why is it that these people just out the door believe what this woman says? Now, let me tell you something else about this story that's now coming out. See? Right. Basically saying it's okay. It's okay because they choose to believe that what this woman says is the truth. They're not looking at her as an enemy. They don't understand. Our people do not understand that the police force, these killings, I told you, are calculated. There's some type of they're doing it on purpose. And I believe there's some type of initiation or something like that where somehow they're doing it and they're getting some type of they're doing it just to see how we react. But this is the thing. Her mentor, like you'll hear a story about her being on a cell phone talking to another cop, which ended up being her lover or whatever, but that cop was her mentor, right? During the killing, or right before, she was on the phone with this person. Now, this other cop was also part of the trial. Now, those messages he's erased. Nobody's talking about that. That's not suspicious to nobody. But that cop, can't remember his name, but this is her mentor, right? This cop admitted years ago to fooling with evidence, tampering with evidence, and also he's guilty of killing an unarmed young black man. Like we hear so often, he's one of them killers. And he shot the brother in the head and then he shot him 5 more times. This is an unarmed young brother. This is the dude that's her mentor that she's on the phone with beforehand. So I'm trying to tell you, there's other stuff going on, and it's not as simple as, well, things just happen. There's systematic things going on. You're dealing with a system that is your enemy. And until we start moving like that, we can't make any type of real progress until we start understanding this. So there's that, and then the other thing is you have witnesses that were there that have said they witnessed to hearing her banging on the door. Several witnesses who live in that apartment complex heard her banging on the door. The media is not telling you this, but this is what the people that were there are saying. So again, how is it that everybody has bought the story that she made a mistake? Why are you going to bang on the door to your own apartment? I told you the woman's lying way back. But our people, we just trust. So where does this come from? This opens up a can of worms of something I've been wanting to talk about anyway. And really, I need to change the title. I'll make this a part 1 because I'm going to go more in depth with that next time I get on here. Let me see if it'll let me do it. I'm just touching on it. But the main culprit as to why our people are so docile, especially our brothers, these dudes are so weak and spineless. The reason why our people are this way, a lot of it has to do with Christianity. It's the Christian way. So we're back to that Bible. Let me see if it'll let me change it. I'm going to put a part 1 to this. But yeah, the judge is a minister. You saw the judge hugging her, right? She's a minister. She's a reverend. Even though she's a judge, she's also a reverend. All right? This is the mindset that our people have. We look at it, our people look at it like the Christian way is to take the higher moral ground. If you take the higher moral ground, no matter how evil everybody else is to you, if you're good to them, you're going to get points by this being that's up there looking down on you, and they're going to get theirs in the hereafter, and you're going to get rewarded in the hereafter. So never mind doing anything about your situation now. Turn the other cheek. Don't do to your enemies what they're doing to you. Be the bigger person. If you show that you're the bigger person and you show love to your enemies, they'll change their mind eventually. And in the end, you'll win. You'll win them over because they'll feel so guilty that they'll start to be good themselves over time. And it's these type of things that this is the way our people approach the struggle. They approach the struggle as if we need to be changing these people's mind with our high moral, high righteous example rather than take care of ourselves and put ourselves in a position where we don't have to worry about being drugged and beaten and treated any kind of way that people feel like whenever they want. Because what are you going to do about it? The problem with our people is we don't have an independent mindset. We don't have a mindset of ownership. We have a mindset, our people, they have a mindset of progress and success, and making it out of the struggle is assimilation, is acceptance, doing what you can to be accepted into the system and the good graces of those that are in power. And you can do that by hard work. You can do that by showing yourself worthy, which goes back to that Christian mindset. If you show yourself to be that right one and walk in a certain way that's at a higher moral fortitude than people around you, people will notice and you'll get far in society that way. This is how our people been approaching the struggle, and that's why things are getting worse. There was a time when our people had more of an ownership mindset. There was a time when our people had things. There was a time when we had land. There's a time when we had some type of industry, some type of production of resources to some degree, and we used it to take care of our own people to some degree. And then came integration. So now our people we don't have anything that we can call ours. That's our problem, especially with black men. We seem to have a problem with claiming things for our own. We think it's racist. We think it's isolation, things like that, when everybody else on the planet is doing that. And that's why everybody on the planet has resources that they give to their own, whether it be the Chinese, whether it be the Arabs, whether it be whoever it is, they have their own resources that they supply to their own people. We're the only ones that don't. And that goes back to that Christian mindset again. Well, we have to share. Well, there ain't nobody else sharing. We should share. If it's really equality, we should be sharing the way everybody else is sharing, not where everybody else has everything, we have nothing, but we have to be the high moral ones all the doggone time. True equality is you're doing what everybody else is doing. And a lot of these brothers out here, I'm gonna put them out first this time, because we're seeing this dude, like the dude hugging, doing the hugging. I'm seeing all these soft ass black men out here that won't stand up, that won't, that have no type of standards, that have no type of self-worth. They just go with the flow of whatever is going on in society, and they take whatever crumbs is left to them. Why don't black men stand up and be able to claim something to be theirs? Why can't we say our water? Why can't we say our food, our land, our company, our industry, our factory, our women, our men? Why don't we have the mindset of ownership, of having something that we can call ours, that we can pass down to our own, so we can have something that's what you call power? Why is that important? Because if you have that, you don't have to beg for all of these things I just mentioned from the white man. Our people have no problem with the fact that you have to go to the white man for everything. Everything. Why don't you want to change that dynamic? Why don't you want to change it to where we don't need nobody but ourselves to get what we need to survive? All our resources come from us. Our people have no problem that if we want some water, if we want an apple or a pear, or if we want some toilet paper, or if we want anything, we got to go to another people to get it. We're completely dependent on another people, and we wonder why we're struggling, or why we're still in a struggle, as they say. We should not be in a struggle anymore. By now, it's almost 2020. Why are we still in a struggle? Because they look at the struggle, like I said before, as convincing somebody to do something different. Same thing with the reparations thing. They can't see past that being the struggle. That should have never been the struggle. Why do you care what another person thinks of you? Especially the ones that are causing you the problem. Why would you go to them? And it's the same thing with the judicial system and these police forces. Now people want to march. Now people want to beg and be angry and say, you better treat me right. Again, when are we going to get it through our skulls that it doesn't matter how many times you ask them to do different, they're not. You're at the bottom for a reason. And it's going to be you that changes that dynamic, nobody else. Next time I do this, I'm going to deal with the whole Bible aspect, because one of the reasons why I wanted to really talk about it was I was following that Julius Malema situation with the EFF in South Africa, and then he ended up losing or whatever. I like a lot of things that he says, but I would say my issue with him, I admire him a lot, but I would say one of my differences with him is Um, when you deal with the history of South Africa and the things he's fighting for, as far as getting the land back that was taken from you, at least he's talking about it just in that way. Most people are scared to talk about it in that way, but he's talking about it in that way. But the problem is, once he's done talking about it, they all gather up and go into prayer to Jesus and still accept the situation and still accept the oppressors and the ones that are perpetrating those situations as their friends and partners at the same time. How do you do that? At some point, you got to draw some lines and be like, look, you're my friend when you start acting like my friend. If you're doing things, if your actions are showing that you're my enemy, we're going to deal with you as such. And that's something that Black people are afraid to deal with. Anybody that's perpetrating this type of situation and system on us the way it is your enemy. So why are you working with your enemy? You have to gain some type of leverage so that you have something for yourself where you have some type of power or influence that can make your enemy uncomfortable instead of making all these deals and compromises. They don't ever compromise. So that's why I was going to talk about the whole Bible thing, but I'll probably get into that later. But, I just wanted to kind of share that because that's kind of the mindset that our people have all over the globe. And Christianity has done that to us, where our people are they're just docile, man. They're just, either you don't like the situation or you do. If you don't, you should be against it. And it's that simple. Let me see what we got going on here. I've been checking. Let's see. Sunline 55 says, is the Bible an accomplice? Great question without pondering. Mythos has set the wheels in motion. Not sure what that means. Is the Bible an accomplice? Great question without pondering. Mythos has set the wheels in motion. I don't know what you mean, but the Bible is mythos. There's a lot of mythos that was used and recycled to come up with the Bible in the first place. So the question is, what benefit has it done our people, and what was the goal of the writers in the first place? Was it to liberate Black people, or was it some other political goal that hurts Black people? Um, I see evidence of the latter and no evidence of the former. We learn about the Bible from colonization. And the Bible has been used as a tool of white supremacy the whole entire time. Whenever you had colonizers committing genocide and stealing land, you also had the missionaries right alongside with them. And this is so hilarious because we're so fond of the biblical message, we don't see the actions of the people that gave us the message. They were doing the same thing. Now they came with sermons instead of guns, but you have to understand that in the sermons, the heroes that they would prop up are the ones with the guns. This is why white Christians to this very day, they prop up heroes such as George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, all these people that destroyed us are Christian heroes to these people in their rhetoric, in their folklore. So it goes hand in hand. The Bible, we have nothing to do with that book and never have. We just accepted it because we didn't have no choice. Well, we had a choice, but a lot of times if you chose against it, you die. So the ones that chose not to die, chose to get in there and sing and dance and fall out in the pews. And we've been doing that ever since. Because when you're thinking about the hereafter and you're thinking about somebody coming and saving you, and you're thinking about um, how you're supposed to deal with suffering without toppling the system, without stopping the oppression, but rather uh, living within the oppression and accepting it, then this is the result you get after hundreds of years. So yeah, I don't know how long I've been on here. I just wanted to see how this thing worked, really. Let me see. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. She basically gave her a piggyback ride out to court. Sickening. Well, yeah. There's no outcry though. Our people like to wait until things are really bad before they react, and they should be reacting now. They should have a problem with the whole police force in Dallas. And if black people really cared about their lives like they say they do, um, I'll just say this: they deal with them like an enemy. And you don't beg to your enemy; you fight your enemy. We don't think like that. If it was any other people that this happened to, they would have turned that police precinct upside down, or I mean, they would have had a problem. Us, well, we want to give hugs and stuff, and Oh, and then the witness, I meant to mention this, Joshua Brown, the witness, the one witness, star witness against Amber, he was shot and killed recently after the trial or whatever, because they're going to have another trial. They're trying to get another trial or whatever. But he was the one that said that there was talking back and forth between Amber and the Bothenbra. So he's dead now. No outcry. Now, see, this is what I'm talking about. He got silenced, which lets you know. And I want to say this: if you notice his demeanor, this is another thing. If you notice his demeanor in the trial, he's very upset. You know why? Because people are being threatened in Dallas. They're not telling you this. This is why a lot of black people that are in that complex, they're not coming forward. He did, but he knew the cost. He was being threatened. People are being threatened not to talk about this. This is your government. I'm trying to tell you, it's not. These aren't incidences. We're being targeted knowingly, and it doesn't matter if there's a black police chief or whatever. They're working for the system. It's systematic. Now, why are people being threatened and why are people being killed if this woman just made a mistake? We got to stop being stupid. Yes, the news is saying a drug deal gone wrong. Bullshit. Drug deal gone wrong. The brother was a successful, upstanding dude. Supposedly had a business and stuff. And so, from what I understand, there's some holes in that drug story coming out now that I need to. There's new stuff about that saying people ain't buying that for certain reasons. We'll buy. They put that out there because we'll buy anything. They feel like we'll go for anything, just like we went for the whole. She made a mistake. You know. So yeah, that's all I was gonna say. Let me see who's all in here. But yeah, I don't know if anybody want to come on. Sun Lion, you over there? You still on? But yeah, I was just sharing. I don't know what y'all think or whatever, but I seen this. I mean, you know, yeah. So the brother's dead now. So now you got two brothers dead. You know, but we got hugs and kisses and all this. You know, talking about a drug deal. Get out of here, man. But yeah, I guess I'll get off of here. I appreciate y'all that were here listening. And unless y'all has something to add, I'm about to get off of here. Any thoughts? Great topic. Yeah, you guys should be tired. I know some of y'all are tired like I'm tired. There's no black loyalty. We have no loyalty as a people. And we still trust others more than we trust ourselves. When it's ourselves or the only people that's going to get us out of this, but we still trusting them. This has been orchestrated, you know, people threatening, about don't talk about the case and people coming up dead after testifying and, just happens to be that brother. No, I ain't buying that. So, yeah. All right, then let me get out of here. I will check y'all later. I am signing off. Peace.